legal case earlier this month revealed how millions of drivers could be owed compensation in a car finance mis-selling scandal.
This is the first I've heard of this one. It's interesting. It's estimated that almost 31.7 million car finance agreements made since 2007 involved a commission payment to a broker.
So, if you bought a car on a personal contract purchase, a PCP, or a hire purchase arrangement before January the 28th, 2021, excuse me, you could be due thousands in compensation.
To tell us more, because it is quite complicated, we're joined by Director of Sentinel Legal, Sam Ward. Sam, thank you very much for joining us today. Sam, can you just explain exactly what this means, what's going on? Because it hasn't had that much coverage, this story.
No, absolutely. And I think what people are struggling to get their head around is what's actually happened and how this is a problem to them. And if I talk you through the entire customer journey, you walk into a car dealership, you assume that that dealer, that broker, that person selling you the car is earning their money through selling the car, and that's where the profit is. But what's actually transpired here, Dawn, is that when you're taking out the car on finance, meaning you're paying monthly for that car, you're actually being charged a huge commission in the thousands of pounds that you are not aware of, and the broker is actually incentivized by the lender to increase that commission.
Right, so we can see why under those circumstances it doesn't seem fair, because you don't realise quite what you're signing up for. But the problem with all of this is that how do we know if we've been hit by it, and how do you begin making a claim about it? Because that's where it gets very complicated.
Absolutely, and I think this is where the FCA has come out quite recently, as of this week, and said that of the 31 million finance agreements that have been issued since 2007, 99% of these agreements are affected by these undisclosed commissions that have been paid directly to the brokers. So I think it's fair to say that if you have taken a car out on finance from 2007 to 2021, you've probably got a good chance of having a compensation owed to yourself.
And this was quite common practice then, because I always assumed, probably naively, that, you know, it was explained. If you're sitting in the car showroom signing the forms, they will say, yeah, OK, well, this is the loan we can give you and this is how much interest they're going to charge. But that clearly didn't happen.
Well, this is the issue, Dawn, and quite recently the Court of Appeal have done a landmark ruling on this, where they've deemed that saying that they may pay a commission hidden somewhere in the smallest of fine print in your contract is acting in, to quote the Court of Appeal, their own self-interest, greedy means. And what these car finance lenders are now doing, now that they've been caught taking advantage of the great British public once again, they're now trying to obscure justice, delay justice, and cover their tracks. But as the FCA have come out and made quite clear, 99% of 31 million contracts are affected.
Yeah, all right, but that brings us down to the nitty-gritty then, doesn't it? Because if someone bought a car on finance in 2007 and they got rid of it 10 years later or whatever, the chances of them having that paperwork are next to nil, but you're saying the chances of them being due money is almost 100%. So is the onus going to be on customers to try and chase this up? Or can it be ruled that actually all these finance companies need to get in touch with people to say, we owe you money?
It's a great question. The FCA have got very clear guidelines on record keeping and accurate record keeping for all of these lenders. What most people can do if they're struggling is, most people have the same email that they had when they were in high school. I definitely do. And you can type in your car registration or type in the name, and usually you can find it coming up. You can go through your bank statements and find it, and that usually gives you the agreement number in order to make the claim. But it is not a prerequisite to filing a claim. Law firms, claims management companies can do what's called a data subject access request to the lender on your behalf, and we can get hold of all of the finance agreements that you've ever had with X amount of lenders.
So, Sam, very quickly, finally, if someone feels they've got the paperwork and they feel that this has happened to them, what's the very first thing they do?
I think the very first thing you can do at this moment in time is file your complaint, whether that's with legal representation such as Sentinel Legal or doing it yourself. Get the complaint in, get it being acknowledged by the lenders, and now you'll be in this waiting period that the FCA has set out, or we can look at potentially litigious routes.
OK. Sam, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Wow. It's just finding all that detail.
It is a paperwork. That's a very good point.
Who did you get the loan from?
Yeah.
I'm thinking very selfishly.
Yeah, no.
I've had loans like that, but who with? What car? What was the reg?
Yeah, it's very few people keep records going back that far, and we are talking quite a way back now. People change their cars so quickly, don't
Best
they?
part of 20 years, 17 years.
But it's worth looking into.
Yeah. Absolutely,
It
you
really
could get
is.
a couple of grand in your pocket. That's no small change, is it?
No, I'm so naive. I just assume when you're sitting there, I mean, because who reads all that small print?
Should do, I guess,
yeah,
but
I know.
there's pages and pages of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, get in touch if you think you might be affected by that. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to go through Saturday Morning Live and find out what's coming up with Ellie and Sam in just a moment.